Now on my layout I have currently 50 turnouts, and all of them are hand laid. I did that in part for economic reasons. It's just cheaper. And the tool that I use to make it, this is first cousin to the Fast Tracks jig. I got a piece of aluminum, this is a 1/4 inch, and I milled grooves the width of webs. This is a number 4, a 5, and a 6, or vice versa, 4, 5, 6. And what I do is I make all my frogs up in advance, and then when I lay my turnouts, I already have my frogs made like I want. Here are 4 assorted pieces of, let's see, wonder what size I designed this for. Is that a 5? I bent this stuff and don't remember what I did it for. Let's do a 6, how about it? All right. That looks good. Am I still on there? Okay. The thumb screws, I lay the rail in the groove. The thumb screws will hold it still. These other ones, I just set up a guide on my grinder and stick them in like sharpening pencils, and works fine. Okay. And if I want a frog that later I can wire, I have a little hole stuck in there. So I can stick a piece of wire up through the bottom. Into that area. Okay. So it's ready to solder. For this I use the resistance soldering because it takes a lot of heat. Not only am I soldering this, but this whole plate becomes a heat sink, and so it needs lots of heat. The idea behind a resistance soldering, I guess I ought to explain it, is you're shorting out something using a carbon rod. This little probe is a round piece of carbon that has copper all the way around it. It's kind of copper plated, and you peel off some of the copper so that only the carbon shows. When that thing gets shorted out, it gets red hot fast. And of course, if I used a larger probe than this, it would get hot that much faster and be that much more heat. But this is plenty for what I'm doing. This is high tech. The off-on switch for this thing consists, and this is the way it came from the factory, 2 blocks of wood, and the wires are connected to screw heads in the wood, and when you step on it, they make contact, and that creates the juice. I'm sure UL doesn't approve it, but that's what I use. And it's going to use a lot of solder. But you can see how quickly that has gotten red hot. It is. Can you see it?
No, there we go.
My fingers are in the way. Okay, I've got it set too high actually. It's beginning to melt a rail. One coil makes a world of difference. But what I do is I just fill this sucker up with solder. This isn't going to be pretty, but I'm going to quit here right now. But that's the way resistance works. I mean, it's just fast. And I would go back then with files and clean it up.
So the heat is generated on the tip itself?
The heat is that carbon tip.
So it's not the two rails and the resistance between them, but it's in the tip of the probe.
Right. I would file that down. I would take my lovely, where did I put it? Hacksaw blade, and go through to clean out the frog. But that's the way I make frogs, and I'll make 8 or 10 of them. And my wire didn't connect, but I'll make 8 or 10 of those things. They usually look much better than that.
Now, you ground that to that aluminum plate.
Yes.
If you were laid on wood ties already, could you alligator clip that to the rail without
Sure.
damaging the rail?
Sure.
It wouldn't want to arc too hot on the alligator clip or the carbon?
No, no. The only place that ever gets hot is the tip. That tip gets red hot real fast. I mean, you know, you can just, and it doesn't matter what you're using as a conductor.